is now woke. It's a sad day in America. I know, gasp indeed. I'm very worked up about this. I'm mad as hell. You can tell. I spent a lot of my time looking at clips like Ben Shapiro, Asmongold, Matt Walsh, being mad about stuff. Very worked up about Superman. I have big opinions on this. Let's hear what Ben has to say. He's going to set us straight with facts and logic. And his little boy haircut. What's going on? He needs to grow the beard out or shave it clean. The 5 o'clock shadow is actually, strangely, not for him. It doesn't look that good for a guy with a 5 o'clock shadow. I think it's because his lip fills in like right to the line on both sides. I think he should just grow it out. Just get Gunn. I also think the baby face is actually like a fine look for him, but whatever. I think he's worried about his age, though. Anyway.
Much lighter news. I just wanted to comment on the fact Superman is coming out this week. So, of course, this is much lighter news. Superman, the new movie from James Gunn. I've been a little skeptical of it because I think that James Gunn, he's fine for Guardians of the Galaxy, but
not woke. Guardians of the Galaxy, not woke. Nothing woke about it.
Superman is a more serious property. The reason that it's relevant politically.
Superman's a more serious property than Guardians of the Galaxy? Is that true? I guess. Iconically, I guess maybe Superman is like considered by usually white guys to be like the big superhero, but who cares? I don't know. Like, the movies kind of suck. I think they try to posit because Superman is like he would be the most powerful of the Justice League, and that's like kind of like the big comic books, the DC comic book. Like, I guess like we consider him in the most powerful one in that pantheon. So I don't think media-wise the Superman stuff has ever been great. Like, Christopher Reeves is the last time that people had like interest in this kind of stuff, and he like fell off that horse when I was a kid, man. So it's been a while.
Politically, is because when we talk about the left and the left in the media, and then we talk about the left in Hollywood, the level of out-of-touchness with the everyday American is truly insane, truly crazy. So
the out-of-touchness? James
Gunn did an interview with the Times of London, and he was talking about the themes in Superman. And he explained that the superhero epic encompasses the story of America. Mm-hmm. He said, Superman is the story of America.
Yeah.
An immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something that we have lost. So,
wow, that sounds like a cool thesis for a Superman story. It's got great reviews so far. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go see it this weekend, I think. But this is like, I don't know. I think James Gunn does a really good job because he understands character and like what motivates them. And so, yeah, and I don't know why Ben Shapiro would have a problem with this. Superman is literally an alien and does show up here, and he is like sort of like a model immigrant archetype, the greatest American, and he passes for white, so they just accept him as a white man.
So he's now trying to make the case effectively that Superman
but he's not. He's an alien.
Kind of an illegal immigrant. Gunn acknowledged the movie's themes may be interpreted differently across...
Yeah, he's undocumented. He didn't come legally whatsoever. He was a refugee.
Political groups, especially considering the nationwide unrest around immigration. However, Gunn stands by the ideals embedded in Superman and added he doesn't care if anyone takes offense. Yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness. And obviously there will be jerks out there who are just not kind and will take it as offensive just because it is about kindness. But screw them. And then he says, yes, it's about politics, but on another level, it's about morality.
Yeah.
I do not understand the necessity for all of these Hollywood folks to undercut the pitch of their own film before it even comes out. It's insane.
What do you mean undercut it? He's not undercutting it. I like the idea of Superman embodying like an ideal. Like that's kind of like the point, right? It's like, okay, how would you want the most powerful possible being to act ethically, right? And so, and as such, he's like a inspiration and a model for how America and the world ought to act, because the guy that could do anything chooses to do this. I think that's decent. I'm not super interested in Superman as a character in general because of his lack of struggles. No one has more struggles than this dog right now, though. This boy needs butt rubs and probably other kinds of attention. It was rainy earlier, and so he didn't want to go outside with me. He's such a diva now. Usually the Superman stories, the most interesting thing about him is that he has like people that are vulnerable around him, like Lois and stuff. And I think if the real toll is like what it takes on him not being able to be everywhere at once, but feeling the need to extend himself to do so, and also like choosing a certain path. Like, I don't know what James Gunn's going to go into, but I assume it's going to have some found family vibes. I assume it's going to have a decent ethical message that I agree with. Like, be kind to people, and we're trying. I don't think Superman is going to go destroying the city or whatever. I don't think we're going to have Zack Snyder's Superman.
It's totally insane. By the way, David Corenswet did the exact same thing.
Corenswet
refused to say truth, justice, and the American way in a recent interview. Instead, he said truth, justice, and all that good stuff, because he doesn't want to say the American way. The reality that Hollywood is so far to the left that they cannot take a core piece of Americana and just say it's about America. This has been a problem since basically after the original Christopher Reeve series. Every single iteration of Superman that's been made since then has avoided truth, justice, and the American way.
He's not an American. He's like a naturalized citizen, an illegal immigrant taken in and adopted by parents that weren't his own. He's not an American. In your eyes, like, he wasn't born here. He's an immigrant.
Because they just refuse to acknowledge the American way is good.
What's good about the American way? I don't think the American way is good. I think when you're at the empirical core, it feels like the American way can be good for you. Because you're like, oh, I have access to things that people don't have access to. But slowly over time, as the empire erodes, as it is now, and you run out of, like, the initial bulk of wealth because you file it all away at the top, and then the people start going hungry and they don't have the amenities they once had, and they don't have the standard of life that they were used to. I mean, you're going to find some disillusionment in that system, Benjamin.
That the American way is, in fact, unique. And this lies at the root of a leftist worldview.
I don't think the American way is unique. I think it's a system of empire building and colonialism that the Portuguese, Spanish, British, Dutch all like went after and tried to do themselves as well. Like, it's not that unique. We're a British colony, like, literally, and it was run as such. And then, like, we fought for revolution that many other people have fought for. We have just been pretty much due to geography and resources, been able to keep this thing afloat. But it's because we have used the extent of the empire to, like, steal from the global south and, like, our neighbors and stuff. And so we absorb and steal a lot of resources and labor and, like, other things, and pile it up in the, like I said, the imperial core. And so you feel like your life is really good because you can go to McDonald's or whatever. But, like, we don't even have healthcare, Ben.
That leftist worldview is astonishingly anti-American.
I totally disagree. I think the leftist worldview is more pro-American than any of Ben's shit that he's got going on. His white supremacist shit and the billionaire class. Like, I want Americans in general to be richer than they are. And I want billionaires, the 1%, to be poorer than they are. I want more Americans to be rich so that they can have their labor, the value of their labor, given back to them.
It really is this hardcore left worldview that says that America is somehow uniquely bad. So if
I don't think it's uniquely bad. I just think it's the most successful at being bad in this way, for sure.
There is a comic book character who is built on the goodness of America, which is what Superman really is about. If Superman is an immigration story,
it is an immigration story.
For those who are not familiar with the origin story of Superman, who comes from the planet Krypton and then lands in America, and then is brought up in a Midwestern household on a farm by his adoptive parents and integrated into true American values, and then goes to Metropolis and brings his sort of country values to the big city where crime is rife and where everybody is too cynical and sophisticated. And the whole point of Superman is that he's bringing these kind of classic American values to the big city.
Ben, you've never been on a farm. These classic American values that you're saying are so good, you don't have in yourself. You're less of an American than the literal immigrant you're describing. And that's our point. Like, this guy, Superman is an immigrant. The story is of one. You can call it integration if you want, but it's pretty clear that Superman imposes his own kind of morality on the world with force.
It's a riff on how New York kind of sucks in many ways, actually. Superman, the original, is very much about how the values of America are farm-bred and farm-born. Right? His moral center, his moral compass, Superman, is on the farm from his parents.
And he doesn't know stuff about the world, and that's like part of the joke. Like the Clark Kent, like he doesn't know stuff. He has to navigate the world and be like led around on a leash by Lois Lane, you know?
That's why he takes
This is why Ben is a failed screenwriter. I think it's hilarious that Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, everybody that works here are failed screenwriters and actors and directors and producers and stuff. And then they go on to try to critique this thing as if they have anything actually cool to say. And then they go try to make art and you see that it sucks. Meanwhile, James Gunn's Superman has like an overwhelmingly positive review right now. It was 91% yesterday before this video came out. And ones like it. It's now at 87%. It'll probably go back up after this weekend, after people keep seeing it. I'm seeing 90% as well. It looks cool. I'm not even that big into Superman, but I will be going to see it.
The name Clark Kent. He's an immigrant who assimilates to American values and then brings those classic American values to the big city.
Classic American values to the big city. He's repeating himself. Here's some classic American values. Like when he punched through the fucking Nazis. Here he is about to punch more Nazis with a fist that can break the earth in half. Here he is about to punch Hitler, who is going to die from the punch. Totally woke. Here's Superman. He probably thinks this is woke. Knights, if we all work together, we can handle him. Doubt it. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's not going to work. They're KKK members. He probably doesn't like this because this is from 2019. So he's like, this is woke. This, on the other hand, not woke. Same thing. Same picture. Same exact shit.
Where he has to use them to defend the big city from enemies, foreign and domestic. I mean, the original Superman is literally punching Hitler in the face.
Right. I just said that. Right. You get it? Yeah. So he's against right-wingers that want to, like, for instance, Zionism. I don't think Superman is for Zionism if he's against Nazis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he'd sit by and be like, yes, the state of Israel is doing a good thing. I think he would be, like, deflecting their tanks and shit from the kids.
In the comics, he literally punches Hitler in the face.
Yep.
So, you know, the attempt to separate Superman off from America...
There's a few Superman stories where he punches Hitler in the face.
...is just a demonstration by the cultural left of how much they dislike America. And that's no shock, because when you take that over into the political sphere, full scale...
They dislike America? It's a critique on where he wants America to be. Like, you're talking about James Gunn being like a full-blown leftist or whatever, which sounds cool to me, but he's saying that America has lost its moral center and is trying to... He's, like, navigating that?
What you end up is a different kind of immigrant.
Fun fact, the Superman radio show is where, quote, the American way comes from, and his main enemy in the radio show was the Klan, to the point that the radio show actually killed interest in the Klan. Oh, wow.
Like the guy who may be the next...
Superman was created in 1938 by two Jewish immigrants, Jerry Siegel and Joel Shuster, in response to the Nazi Party. They didn't make him Jewish, though. Can't believe it. They make him messianic, though, a little bit. My favorite is sort of this era, but with the long hair. I'll show you. Long hair Superman. It's in Death of Superman. I could have just typed that. In the Death and Return of Superman era, get a little black. Yeah. I mean, this is black suit Superman when he comes back, but it's like a mullet for a minute. It's sick.
Mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani. So, if you have a choice between immigrants who come to the United States, yes, on alien spacecraft, and land, and then are integrated into America and imbibe from the wellspring of American values, or Zohran Mamdani, you should pick Superman. Because Zohran Mamdani is a disaster area. This guy is likely to be...
What the fuck? Why are we parlaying this into Zohran Mamdani? Stay on task. Nick Cage was supposed to play long hair Superman, directed by Tim Burton. Yeah, should have been done. Would have been cool. I think he's gonna fight a spider in it too.
Be the next mayor of New York.
Okay.
And his absolute
Why are we here?
Deep hatred for the country is so clearly apparent in everything that he's been doing for years on end.
Are we done with the Superman portion?
He only became an American citizen like 6 years ago. He put out a tweet in 2020 that showed him flipping off a statue of Christopher Columbus.
Okay. Take it down. Yeah, good. Based?
With the caption, "Take it down."
Yeah, I agree. Based? He loves America. That guy's dope.
Because the idea is that Christopher Columbus is somehow deeply bad and deeply...
Somehow deeply bad? Well, he was a pretty brutal murderer and slaver. So yeah, I don't like him.
Evil.
Yes.
Now, first of all, Zohran Mamdani is not native to these shores.
Okay.
Any more than the white people...
Any more than Superman. He's certainly more native than Superman to these shores.
Who preceded him are native to these shores. Any more than the Native Americans...
Neither are fucking you, Ben. You literally are Jewish. What are you talking about? I guess you're not fucking from here then. Your blood's too fucking impure because you're not originally from here. You gotta be lily fucking white. Columbus cut the hands off children and had them wear them as necklaces, Ben. What a cool guy.
Americans who came across a land bridge, tens of thousands.
Does he think Columbus was American? Oh, he must, right? That's strange.
Of years ago are originally native to these shores. I mean, again, the way that human migration works is that it comes in waves. It comes across a variety of mechanisms. If you go back far enough, there are no human natives to anything because, of course, there were no humans. But
so you're undercutting your own fucking position right there? Okay, cool. Then you don't get to be nativist? All right. I didn't even have to do anything. He just sort of talked himself out of his own position there. Cool, Ben.
If you are talking about Zohran Mamdani,
we're not. We're talking about Superman.
Columbus, you wouldn't even be in New York if it weren't for Columbus. You would not be in America if it were not for Columbus. You can.
Okay, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Hitler. Don't think we should be celebrating Hitler. You know? Think we'll skip it.
Flip off the people who opened the continent to your presence here, Zohran Mamdani. But it's so clear what he thinks of the country. My work schedule has been incredibly busy.
I don't give a fuck, Ben. Why are you okay, you know what? I usually skip the ads, but this looks scuffed. Now I kind of want to watch it.
Late, as you know, especially because of the extended show, I still need to make sure I'm maintaining my health, hitting the gym, spending time with family, even with the crazy schedule. I've learned pretty quickly peak performance requires peak nutrition, not just caffeine.
Does he have peak performance? He's looking worse and worse. You can see the old man he's going to turn into.
That means the fruits and the veggies, whatever I have to do to get that in. That's why I'm grateful to have balance of nature, and that fits.
Yeah, I'm sure he's very grateful. Let's see the blender. Get to it.
It's right into even the busiest of days. Imagine trying to eat 31 different fruits and veggies every day. Sounds miserable, time-consuming. With balance of nature,
31 fruits and veggies every day? Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just eat a few?
Fruits and veggies. There's never been a more convenient dietary supplement to ensure you get a wide variety of fruits and veggies daily. Balance of Nature takes fruits and veggies, they freeze dry them, they turn them into a powder, and then they put them into a capsule. You take your fruit and veggie capsules every day, and then your body knows precisely what to do with them. It's kosher.
How the fuck can you sit here and make content like the left wants you to eat bugs when you're like, forget enjoying your meals, now take them in powdered pill form so I can pay the bills? Like... Capitalism is a fucking mess and shit show. Also, are you in is this the kitchenette at the Daily Wire? It looks so terrible in there. Is this actually like your break area? Oh, this looks sad.
Which means I put them right in the protein smoothies. I'm good to go. Head on over to balanceofnature.com.
Yeah, just open them up and put them in the protein smoothies.
Code Shapiro for 35% off your first order as a preferred customer. Plus, get that free bottle of fiber and spice. That's balanceofnature.com, promo code Shapiro.
You know, until we talk him into eating dog food, we haven't won.
And of course, he got this from his parents. His parents...
Bicycles! You want to give up your one refuge in the office so I can hawk this health bullshit? Okay, thanks. Right, exactly.
Are Indian-born, and they also...
Is this actually about Zohran Mamdani now? For real? I wanted to talk about Superman.
Are immigrants to the United States who have taken advantage of literally every privilege America has to offer. That includes his father, Professor Mahmoud Mamdani of Columbia.
Hold on. I just want to see if he's talking about Superman in here.
A huge swath of the globe. Do you think Indonesia was originally Muslim territory?
Okay. Let's try 8 minutes.
Not all people have the same culture and values. You know who should know this? Mahmoud Mamdani, who's a...
Fucking Jesus fucking Christ. Are we going to talk about... What is this? Is this a clip?
Beneficiary of those Anglo-American values, sitting at a prestigious American university.
If you wanted to hear a video about Superman, you shouldn't have chosen a video stating as such. You're right. This should be reported for clickbait. What the fuck is this? We're talking about Zohran Mamdani now.
Able to say what he wants.
No. Ben always does this. He misleads the title of his vids because he's a hack. It's trash.
As opposed to, being back in Uganda, which is where he came from with his family.
I don't care. They're so worried about socialists. I'm telling you, if you can pull it off time-wise and effort-wise, you should absolutely run for office locally if you're a leftist. Just do it. The worst thing that could happen is you just lose, okay? You're going to say stuff that people fucking love, though. Like run for comptroller in your local township. They're literally terrified. It's insane. Probably got paid to explicitly trash Mamdani at least 12 times this week. I definitely think that's true. You discussed running as a socialist with the DSA right before the stream. Perfect. Organize with your local DSA. I'm considering organizing with the local DSA. I don't even really fuck with the DSA, to be frank. I feel like maybe that's just because the people that do organize with DSA are just kind of like, you know, we're not quite there yet, but there's some branches of it that have been doing some good shit. And it's starting to look more and more like a place that I would want to be a part of rather than, you know, sort of a not as shitty as the Green Party. Like, that's a legitimate win. That's a huge fucking win for them. DSAs all over the place are getting bigger. If you want to make some friends, head off to your local DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. There's a chapter probably within driving distance of you right now.
Here he is ragging on the United States.
So this is Zoran's dad, I guess?
A Christian nation state
Yep.
decides to cleanse it of all religious minorities, Jews and Muslims in particular, and at the same time launches a colonization experiment, the discovery of the Americas. America is the genesis of what we call settler colonialism.
Yeah.
And the American
even
model
wrong.
was exported all around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
You agree? You don't agree with him? You literally said earlier that you liked settler colonialism. You're like, what? You don't like Christopher Columbus? You like it. Why are you pretending that's bad? We think it's bad. You think it's good. Just say you like it.
the absolute myopic insanity of that statement that
It's myopic? How?
America is uniquely settler colonialist, as opposed to the Muslim countries that he is
Nearsighted, lacking imagination, foresight, or intellectual insight. Okay, I knew what it meant. I was making sure I wasn't just unimaginative, uncreative. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought it meant. I guess because he's using facts and logic on Ben.
lauding as some sort of victims in all of this is totally insane. Totally insane. By the way, that's not the extent of his insanity.
So definitely the Superman position. We're over it. Are you gonna play more? I'll listen to more clips of this based old guy though.
He also suggested that Abraham Lincoln's treatment of Native Americans was the basis of Hitler's treatment of Jews.
With the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln generalized the solution of reservations. They herded American Indians into separate territories. For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. It is possible.
I don't know why. Okay, so when the Nazis are like, we took inspiration from this, and they just say it. When the Americans did this with the native population, we saw that we could, mechanize this kind of process, which is pretty much what they say. You just want us to change reality? America is a very successful settler colonialist project, of course.
To do genocide. That's what Hitler realized.
Okay, Hitler never would have come up with the idea of going after the Jews if it were not for Abraham Lincoln's treatment of Native Americans. First of all,
that's not what he said. So he said, like, the method of genocide, like how it's pulled off, like you can actually accomplish it. He's not saying that Hitler wasn't already genocidal. He was saying that Hitler was shopping around for methods, and he was inspired.
well, the treatment of Native Americans in America, which is shameful and poor, preceded Abraham Lincoln by several decades. Just to point that out, like the Trail of Tears was many, many years before Abraham Lincoln. Two, the idea that Hitler required the help of Abraham Lincoln in order to come up with his hatred of Jews is totally insane, actually. There are linkages between American policy with regard to eugenics, which is a progressive left-wing movement in the United States in the 1920s.
Okay. So, what about in the 2020s? I'll steel man it. I don't care. Sure. You can call it 1920s progressives were doing eugenics. I don't care. I'm a 2020s progressive, and I'm not for eugenics. And so I also think that you shouldn't be. Can we agree? Is that okay?
And Nazi policies of the same period and slightly thereafter. But that actually has more to do with the Woodrow Wilson progressives than it has to do with Abraham Lincoln. The reason he's attacking Abraham Lincoln is because he's
Wait, attacking Abraham Lincoln? He's just talking about the reservation system.
trying to tear down icons of America. That, again, is Zohran Mamdani's father. And this all speaks to why Zohran Mamdani identified himself as both Asian and Black or African American as a high school senior.
As he reads his cue card. All right, dude. I don't care. He's both of those things. You're fucking weird. He's just reading his fucking script from his handlers. I simply can't imagine being bought and having my opinions told to me. That's pathetic shit. If you're tired of having your opinions just regurgitated to you by some guy who's paid by a corporation to have them, come over here, angry Ben Shapiro fan. Or, if you're an angry Ben Shapiro fan, in the comments, come chat with me about why you have bad opinions. That would be fun, too. It would be a great time. So this video is clickbait. I wanted to talk about Superman, but I guess we talked about Zohran Mamdani. I got clickbaited by Ben Shapiro.